Alrighty, good morning everyone, and welcome to the new adventure. Today I'm starting to work on the C-10. First thing I did off camera was I moved my toolbox out of the barn, thanks to the forklift on the tractor, and I figured out what I'm going to do with my trailer. It's going to become a mobile workshop. Anyhow, today we do the first official, what I want to call the dive-in video on the C-10 and go through it with a fine-tooth comb, show everybody what's wrong with it, what I plan to do with it, all that good stuff. So first of all, we'll start, for those who haven't seen it, is brand new to me Chevy C-10 with the 5-liter 305. Now the people who had it before me, as you can see, have done some work. I mean, there's a new fuel pump on it. They've put new plastic filters. That will be replaced. Chip does not like plastic under the hood, especially when it comes to fuel filter. That needs to be metal. Vacuum lines and everything don't look bad. I'm probably gonna go through and replace them all regardless. The heater hoses look to be in good shape. Radiator hoses look to be in good shape. The alternator, when I had it running, wasn't charging, but I didn't have it running all that great or all that long. Obviously, they use whatever spark plug wires they can find. That's going to be replaced. Distributor cap, rotor, and all that good stuff is going to be replaced. Vacuum advance is going to be replaced. The disconnected stuff, I'll either find what it goes to or take it off completely. These trucks did not come with a vacuum assisted brake, but I eventually, right now it's got 4-wheel drum brakes. I will eventually convert the front wheels to disc. I'm going to keep the drums on the back, but I will convert eventually the fronts to disc, so I will be taking that master cylinder off and putting a vacuum assisted master cylinder on it. The shift linkage and everything looks good. Got your redneck clamps on there to keep it from coming off. I will fix that. Power steering pump, alternator. I mean, it's just a freaking easy, no fuss, no muss 305. No electronics, none of that crap. Well, I say no electronics. It does have the electronic ignition for back in the day. But other than that, man, this is what motors were supposed to be. This was back when they were great and you didn't have all that electronic shit and sensors all over it. Sorry, I can't say that on YouTube, but you didn't have a lot of electronic stuff on there that confused everything. What do we need for it? All right, see, got a little bit of rust on the hood. I am not a Bondo guy. $364 at LMC. Gonna order a new one. We need a new battery tray. Obviously, it's 1978. Some things rust out. Duh. Front fenders. Now I put some zinc on it to kind of stop the rust in its tracks, hopefully. But you know, fenders are gonna need to replace inner and outer, of course. Again, it's a 1978. It's gonna have rust. If you didn't see on my Facebook page, I did go through it a little bit. All the lights work with the exception of the low beams. Now, some people have said that I need to convert them over to the LEDs. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to, you know, the 6-inch round bulbs are still available at the Chinese parts store, otherwise known as AutoZone or Advanced. So as long as they're still available, I'm going to keep it as original as possible. And, you know, if they stop becoming available before I die, then I might switch it to LED, but until that point it's going to stay original. Again, fenders, inner, outer on the front, again LMC. These outer fenders, you know, you drill the spot welds, take them off, drill you some bolt holes, bolt them back on. The inner fenders, all that's bolt on. And the only place these inner fenders are really rusted are back yonder in the back. You know, and that's the only rusted spot on that inner fender. Everything else is good. Again, LMC. These things here, believe it or not, only $100. Outer fenders, left and right, $124 a piece. So yeah, I'm gonna buy new ones, and then just take those off and replace them. Doors are sound. Little bit of rust right there in the corner. You know, underneath, good and solid. You know, a little bit of rust. Not gonna worry about that. Rocker panels on the driver's door is good. Floorboards are good. Dash panel bezel is missing. And you know, back in the old days, there was just a light, oil light, generator light, temperature light, brake light. I'll let you know something was wrong. They make gauges for all this, so I am going to replace just the light with the gauge clusters. Put me an oil pressure switch, oil pressure gauge, temperature gauge, alternator gauge. The brake light I'm gonna leave as is. These little green tabs here, I'm gonna clean all this up. Gauge cluster is, you know, all this stuff is original as is right now, as far as I know. Of course, it's showing, you know, it's got a whole lot of gas in it. It does not. So, and it's got almost 192,000 original miles, or I'm sorry, 80,000 original miles. That, I don't know if it's rolled once or not. Being in 1978, I'm probably sure that it's rolled at least once. You can pretty much bet on that. I'm debating with myself whether to buy new gauges so that, you know, all this dash is brand new, because I will be replacing this even though it's not in bad shape for how old it is. You know, that's one thing that really surprised me about this truck is it is, you know, being 1978, it is not in bad shape at all. Like I told the kid that I bought it from, I've been looking for this truck for 10 years. I've been trying to find me a late model square body Chevy that was in decent shape, and I wasn't going to get bent over and, you know, I can't say it on YouTube, but you know what I mean. I wasn't going to get bent over on the price. You know, original ashtray. I will be adding a 12-volt socket for to charge my cell phone. Welcome to the modern age, 1978. Last time she was registered was 7 of 99. I'll scrape it off. Windshield. I'm not sure that's original, because most of these windshields that you see in this year, this old, have that freaking frost or cloud on them. None of these windows have that. So I don't know if this was kept in a barn or it was kept under trees for so long that it didn't. I mean, passenger side's got a little bit over there. The vent windows. Oh my God, y'all! I got vent windows. Y'all remember these things? Oh, I love these things. This vehicle does not have AC. I probably, since there were models where the AC was optional. You know, you had your vent right here, then you had a vent right here. LMC does sell the dashboard bezels that have the AC vents in them. I probably will add the AC. I know Cold Air Systems has a retrofit that will go in these, but since AC was an option on these trucks, I can probably go factory original. It's not going to be that difficult. One of the things I did found is the previous owners. Yeah. We're trying to get it started using the key. Didn't have a key. Muggered that all to hell and back. Hazard is gone. Muggered up the dash. Signal lights don't work. And then the one thing I wish they hadn't have done, but they did. They didn't know no better, I'm sure, is they cut the ignition rod. That's what actually pushes your ignition right there. They cut that and used a pair of vice grips installed. I will be fixing that. I have one of the original mirrors in here. Fortunately, it is broken, but I mean, it's got some pitting in it. So what I'm gonna do, and then they've got a non-original rear view mirror, but I am going to get the original style and put back up there. I'm gonna, let's close that just in case it starts raining. I mean, hey kids, look, it's even got powered windows, one person powered, and they work. Something else that might confuse y'all. Hey, looky there. That right there, kids, is how you change from low beams to high beams. And oh my God, it's got 3 pedals. What do we do with that one? Us old folks know that's the clutch. And this old girl, 3 on the tree, baby. And she shifts pretty good. I have not shifted her while she was running yet, because it does not have a back tire on the passenger side. Even got a free realistic freaking radio CB that's gonna be coming out. I will be putting a modern Bluetooth radio in it. Duh. All right, continuing the tour. Hey, CB antenna. I'm gonna leave that. I kind of like that. I don't know about the lights. I'm not too sure about the lights yet, but I think I'm gonna leave that because Chip has a tendency to put stuff in the back of his truck, and that'd be really nice to protect my windshield. A little bit of rust on the step. Again, LMC, bolt on, bolt off. That right there, 60 bucks for each, one on either side. This fender flare is in good shape. It's got a little bit of surface rust under it. It's not too bad. You know, frame's in immaculate conditions. I've got 4 brand new shoes coming for her. They'll be here Thursday. I'm going to naturally, replace the lights with same style lights, and then, one that's got a place. Actually, no, I'm gonna put the license plate back there where it belongs. The license plate lights do not work. I did a video on my Facebook page where I went through and checked all the lights. Everything works except for the low beams and the license plate lights. So, yeah, I'll be replacing these with new ones. I mean, they work, but still, if I'm gonna put all this effort in it, might as well go hog wild. You know what I mean? Alright, I'll play with that later. But I need to replace the bedwood, of course. That's a no-brainer. This one came with the painted strips for the bedwood. I'm torn between just, sanding these down, which is probably what I'm going to do, because I am bound and determined that I want to stay as original as possible. Keep as many of its original parts on it as is absolutely possible. So I will probably pull those out, sand them down, prime them, and paint them back to the original body color. This truck is going to get a paint job, by the way. It's not going to stay looking like this. Once I get all the body work done, I mean, yeah, you can see daylight through there. This fender flare here, the flare itself only has 1 spot of rust right here, and 1 spot of rust here, and 1 spot of rust here, but it's starting to get some other bubbling. So yeah, this side is going to be replaced. The other side's still in good shape. Like I said, I got 4 brand new shoes coming for her. Got the original rims on her. All right, parts we need: the steps, both sides, this fender flare here. I need a rocker panel for under this side, inner and outer front fenders, hood. I'm going to stay with the original style hood. They did have an option on the 78s for the cowl induction hoods. I'm not going to put one of them on there. That's not what's on this truck according to the VIN number. So it's going to stay with the original flat hood. And if it wasn't for the fact that Chip don't like Bondo, I would just pick that one spot and keep its original hood. And I still may, because I mean, I can come through here and cut this out enough that I can still leave me a good spot of weld, and I may just cut that little piece out and put me another piece of sheet metal in it and keep the original hood. That's more than likely what I'm going to do. Now, another thing that you get on a lot of these, if you see the hood line here, you see that little bend right there? Because back in the day, we didn't have hydraulic cylinders that help you. We just had big ass springs. So you would pull on the top of the hood like this, and the hood would flex a little bit. And over the years, you get that little bow in it. It doesn't really affect the fit all that much. Hood matting is gone. A little bit of rust right there. Again, not bad. For a 1978, folks, this thing is not that bad. It's not that bad at all. I will be removing these. I have one of those big bright bar lights to go on it. Let's see, parts needed: front, inner, outer fenders. I need to pull the steering wheel. I'm gonna work on that today, right now in a minute, because I stopped by the Chinese parts store, otherwise known as AutoZone, and picked up a new ignition switch. There's two styles, one with a set screw, one without a set screw. Being in the shape that this one's in, I can't tell which one, so I'm gonna pull all this off today so I can get to that switch, find out whether I got the right one or not. I got the least expensive one, and with my luck, I got the wrong one, because if I get the least expensive, of course, my luck, it's wrong. Yeah, so that's pretty much what we need to do with this thing. You know, cab corners. You wouldn't expect for a 78 for there to even be a cab corner left, but there's still some there. LMC sells a partial cab corner for back here in the back, or the full one. Full cab corner is only freaking $30, so I'm gonna buy the full one and just re-weld it on there. The rocker panel on the other side is $45. Buy a new one, weld it on. Cab corner on that side, I don't remember. Let's run around and take a look at it real quick. She's good. So yeah, I need one cab corner on the driver's side, rocker panel passenger side, these steps on both sides, passenger side fender flares, front, inner, outer fenders, battery support tray. I've already got the ignition switch, the gauges for the dashboard, the bezel for the dashboard, and a new dashboard. Anybody want to take a guess? Oh, and a seat. I'm gonna replace it, and I'm going to go with the bench seat. Some people like to put bucket seats in them, but I'm gonna keep the original bench seat. I had two options. LMC has it so you can buy just the seat foam and the cover and do it yourself, or you can buy the whole dad blame seat. I ordered the whole dad blame seat, or I'm going to order the whole seat. So just bolt on, bolt out, get it out of here. Floorboards. There's a couple little spots, you know, where you can see daylight through, but you know, there's been some work done to the floorboards. Floor pans, I'll order a set of those to go to cut this side out, put a new floor pan in. Going to replace the matting with a new floor mat. Here's something else you kids don't remember. Floor vents. Back in the day, we had little vents where you could get air inside the truck. Now this one does have a heater core in it, so it has heat but no AC. Or I'm sorry, it has 270 AC, two windows down, 70 mile an hour, and your vent windows open. Doors close good. The mirrors I'm going to replace with the original style mirrors. These will work until. And city folks don't know what these are, but us country folks knows that's to keep the deer from running out in front of you. It makes a high-pitched noise when you're driving down the road so the deer don't run out in front of you. She is a custom deluxe C-10. I have the original hubcaps. I want to say the original hubcaps sitting in the back. So those will go back on there once we get the new shoes on her. What else? What else we got? Brakes. I have not taken the brakes off there yet to see how good the cylinders look. I don't care whether they look good, how they look. It's a 1978 that looks pretty much all original. You know. Now the kid that I bought it from, Dakota, him and his wife, girlfriend, I didn't catch which one. They were good people. They were pretty open with what the issues was. He said he was driving it, this tire blew, slapped the gas tank, and fuel stopped going to the carburetor, or to the fuel pump. He thinks that knocked rust loose in the tank and clogged the lines. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. Clogged the lines up. I'm thinking maybe it knocked the pickup off of it. I'm gonna drop that tank here later today and find out, and then we'll go from there. Brake cylinders, like I said, I haven't taken them off. If I take them off, it's got new cylinders in it, then I'm gonna leave them, obviously. But if the cylinders are not new, I'm going to replace them with new shoes, new cylinders, new shoes, new cylinders, new drums on all four. Like I said, I will eventually be changing the front to disc, because anybody's driven one of these 4-drum trucks or 4-drum vehicles, you're used to driving vehicles of the modern age that's got disc brakes, either four-wheel or front-wheel discs, and you're used to how they stop. Then you get on one of these and you go back to the whoa, Betsy, whoa. You got to stop a little sooner because they don't stop as good, especially if you're pulling something. And I will be pulling that trailer with this truck. Let's see. Yeah, so I got together a parts list on her, and LMC, ordering everything from LMC that I can. LMC, y'all, people give LMC a lot of crap, but I'm telling you, I've never had a problem with them. I've ordered stuff for vehicles that I've worked on before. I don't use Rock Auto or any of those Chinese places. Occasionally I will use year one. I have ordered some stuff for year one on a vehicle that I worked on before, and the stuff came bent and broken, so I've pretty much stuck with LMC for anything I need. Hell, I've even ordered parts for that one from LMC, and I've never had a problem with LMC. Their stuff has always been good. I mean, there's parts on that one there that I bought in 2002 when I bought that vehicle from LMC that are still on there, and they've never given me a problem. So this one here is going to be an LMC truck. Got together a parts list, and you're never going to guess how much before tax all the parts that I've put on there. You know, we'll go over them again just so you know. Inner and outer front fenders, left and right. The hood, if I decide to buy one instead of fix that one. The dashboard bezel, the seat, the step left and right, the fender flare. I put both of them on there just in case. I'm going to order both of them just in case. If I end up not using the driver one, then if something happens to that one, I'll have it. And I did put the ignition switch on there, but I've actually got one in the truck that I bought at the Chinese parts store this morning just to see if I could get it switched over. I mean, I can fix that push rod to the point where it'll work enough. It ain't gonna be perfect, but it'd be good enough. But all total, all the parts before buying the AC condenser, all that good stuff, just not including AC parts, just the parts to get the body back in shape and get rid of the rusted parts, $1,200. Now, you can't beat that with a stick. I don't care what kind of stick you're using. They also have the complete kits for the bed. They have the oak wood. They have the strips to hold the wood down. I mean, again, I want to stay as original parts as possible. These don't look like they're in that bad of a shape, but I haven't torn them. I haven't taken the wood out of it yet to see what it looks like underneath. But if I decide to go with LMC to buy new wood, new hardware, new strips, new everything for the bed, I almost fell out of the chair when I saw the price. It's like $680 for the whole dad blame kit. I mean, again, I don't care how big of a stick you use, you can't beat that with a stick. But yeah, I mean, you can see what I'm saying. All the fender flares there are bolt. Now this here, I am not going to order a whole new bed just for that little bit of rust. I will cut that out, get a new piece of sheet metal, and weld that in. I don't care if you see the weld on the inside or not. I don't care. You know, it's a 78. It's going to have some rust on it. This truck does not have as much rust on it as I thought it would for a 1978. That's why I wanted to go take a look at it before I took the money to him, because he would, you know, his pictures, you could see the rust in the parts that are rusted in the pictures. I'm like, there's got to be more than that. It's a 1978. There's got to be more rust than what's in these pictures. But when I got there, you know what? There wasn't. And I asked the kid, I'm like, you sure you only want $1,000 for that? And he's like, yeah. And then he told me the story behind this truck. He got on Facebook Marketplace. He had a Mustang that he traded for a dirt bike. And then he traded said dirt bike for a bass boat. Then he traded the bass boat for that. Being the redneck I am, I'm like, that would have kept the bass boat or got the truck. Yeah, I'd have got the truck too. But and then I paid $1,000 cash for this. It does not have the title. The person he got it from was, I guess, an older person, and wishy-washy on whether or not they can find the title or not. So I'm just applying for a lost title. I got a bill of sale that him and his girlfriend signed for me. I've already contacted DMV. They said that bill of sale and the piece of paperwork that I filled out is all they're going to need to apply for a lost title. So I'll go get a new title for it, title it in my name, and then put her back on the road. I'm saying on the road, I'm giving her a month. Like I said, I got new tires coming forward. They'll be here Tuesday, and the reason the gas cans are there, just in case you're wondering, hey, what the hell is up with the gas can? I'm going to siphon what gas I can out of the tank, because I got to drop the tank to see if it was the rust or the sending unit that is why it's not getting fuel to the fuel pump. And then we'll go from there. First thing I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to take that steering wheel off and dive in there and take a look at the ignition to see if that piece can be salvaged. If not, then I'm going to have to order either an entire new steering column or order that part. And then take a look at the ignition rod to see if I can mend that part where if I can just touch it with a welding rod and put it back together, or if I can redneck engineer it back together, or if I'm going to have to go to the junkyard and get a new one. I've already stopped at a junkyard up there on 211 on the way home. They've got a 78 fleet side. Those that don't know the difference, this is a step side. The fleet sides are the truck where the whole bed goes all the way back and matches the curvature of the truck. But they've got a 78 fleet side sitting there. And from what I can see from the highway, it was back a little bit, but it looked like the steering wheel was in it. So that's an option. And then I got a couple more junkyards around here that I can try. But yeah, that is the walk around and the explanation. So all total, getting this thing back up and running, I will know today what I need to do as far as, I cranked it up the other day. I used some 2-cycle engine oil because I don't know how long it's been setting since it's ran. 2-cycle engine oil with a little bit of oil on the pistons ain't gonna hurt it. In fact, they kind of enjoy that, getting that stuff worked down in the rings, loosen them up a little bit. So it does run if you feed some go-go juice in the carburetor. So what we're going to work on today is getting the carburetor, or getting the fuel pump to feed the carburetor for us, so we don't have to sit there and pour gas in it, because you can't drive down the road like that. Anyway, here we go.